Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to this video by Omeezy. It's titled "The Free Tate Protest Proves Sneako Right." Okay, Omeezy has been keeping us up to date with all of the streamer drama going on. So yeah, let's see what's going on now with this Free Tate protest. Jesus. Who would attend that? Let's watch.
I did believe at the time that Andrew Tate was innocent. I thought that some of the accusers were trying to get money, and I believed that it was a matrix attack. I did believe it back then. But as I looked into it more, and I look at the new charge with child, and I've done a deep dive, it's clear that this is not just a specific matrix attack, probably guilty of a lot of these things.
Well, finally, it only took you about 4 years platforming him to the young, impressionable audience, him snaking you, doing all these things behind your back, only for you to come back around to a side that realizes that he might be a bad person. Thank you, Sneako, for finally realizing that Andrew Tate is a bad person after all the years of damage. Just thank you. The infamous Tate brothers are being held in federal custody in Miami, Florida, because they have done some things that are just outrageous. Not necessarily new, but they are outrageous. And with the hearing being pushed back to August 27th, their supporters have come around them and decided to wrap them in a blanket or a cloak of support that would have them feeling like they are loved to the nth degree and that these people are there to see them seek justice.
Oh my God. Y'all are so embarrassing.
Look at this
grown-ass man. Right.
This is just the most embarrassing thing that I've ever seen in my life. This rally literally turned into people bringing testosterone shots outside, people doing push-up contests to show how masculine they are.
Oh my God.
The lawyer of Andrew Tate, the WWE promo, front and center, because he needs some sort of attention. It's a really weird and interesting sight.
Nothing what a democracy looks like, and that is what the UK looks like now. It is a fallen regime. It is a despotic state. It is a state that hates men, that hates Christianity, that hates masculinity, and that hates Andrew and Tristan Tate.
And of course, this hosted the usual loser suspects of people that you would think would be supporting Andrew Tate. Of course, Myron Gaines is out there on the front line, showing his support for his guy, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate in this situation. You also have fellow Red Pill top G, Justin Waller, out there supporting his guys, the Tate brothers, you know, standing in arms with them. But there is a name that is not out there with them. Arguably one of the more impactful names in all of Andrew Tate's whole career, and that's Sneako. Sneako is at home realizing in real time that ultimately the things that he has done has been disgusting by supporting Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate based off of the charges being levied against him and all of the evidence that is piling up. And honestly, I think Sneako's whole assessment on everything, the charges and the protests, kind of summarize exactly where the state of the Red Pill community is. And I think Sneako, who for what it's worth is one of the biggest supporters and backers of the Red Pill community during its rise and ascension, and has a great assessment on the overall state of the Red Pill community. From the charges to the protests, he puts it pretty soundly exactly where the Red Pill community is. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please click.
Hello?
This is Lily Velasquez. I'm reaching.
Girl, go to hell. Sorry, I had to pick that up because
subscribe.
my car is anyway. I'm waiting on a call to go pick up my car.
But it's gonna go a long, long way for the channel. The race to 200 is on. We're almost there. Now back into the video.
And I wish I saw it earlier. I was kind of blinded by, you know, the idea that we're speaking truth, this resisting the slave mind, the matrix. I did believe in that stuff, and it's a lot of it is a cult. And you can see some of these people are still in that cult. They believe that their demons are trying to stop testosterone, so they're doing push-ups on the sidewalk at the age of 40 years old. It's embarrassing. No, you're
burning their hands.
And I was wrong.
And what I think is actually a bold move from Sneako, he does come to the internet and admit something that a lot of people can't do. That his actions, his belief system, and what he was pushing was wrong in the past. It's not just the stuff with women that has Sneako now believing that, you know, Andrew Tate and his ways were wrong. It's also the stuff with children. It's also the way that he goes about treating his friends. It's the entire framework and ideology and picture that Andrew Tate has been trying to paint over the past couple of years that now has what I think was his biggest and most vocal and most important supporter now questioning the validity of who he is. The reason why I think the Sneako of it all is so important is because he was a guy who championed championed Andrew Tate. I tried to explain this to my fiance the other day about how important Sneako was to the rise of Andrew Tate, but he, in my opinion, is literally the person who introduced Andrew Tate into such a young and impressionable audience through Sneako, and had him be somebody who at one point in time got his name bigger than Donald Trump and Kim Kardashian. But now in 2026, the relationship has totally fallen apart and changed. And these newfound charges, these old charges, but just brought back to the forefront in a different way, have made Sneako disavow Andrew Tate in a way that I think is honestly great. And so now, as Sneako is sitting at home watching these losers do this protest for Andrew Tate, he can only sit back and reflect. Because maybe a year ago, he would have literally been on those same front lines, doing the same push-ups, having the same cardboard signs, cutting the same promos for a guy who should be going to jail for a long time based off these charges.
I should have known that this event was gonna draw so many fucking hot cases. Bro,
Nigga, 30 people showed up. Wrong protest. I told you the niggas is done, bro. I told you the red bill is dead. You know how much pushback I got for that? When I said the red bill is dead, they all started crying. This is proof. This protest here, and why I wanted to do the stream, is to show you this is the finale of this red pill cringe era. These incel who hate women and don't really have any sort of universal idea. The red pill is dead. It's done.
Now, for what it's worth, Sneako, you did bring these guys to the forefront in the mainstream. At least you aided in doing it, but it's good that you're spinning the block. And I think that you're absolutely right. These people are hanging on by a thread because
I don't like him saying the N-word. As much as
as
y'all be trying to claim he black, he not black. All right, fuck out of here. I'm tired of y'all calling everybody black who ain't black. He is not black. I don't care what his daddy look like. He's not black, all right? Y'all be so quick to call somebody black because they mix with black. Do y'all do the opposite when somebody got a little bit of white in them? Do you just automatically call them white? No. We need to start rejecting this one drop rule. Fuck out of here. You not black. Just like I said, Andrew Tate and his brother, I'm not accepting him as black either. Fuck out of here. I don't care. They daddy, he black, sure. He looked like he might be mixed with a little something, but they got a full white looking or passing mama, and look how they act. They're white supremacists. Therefore they're not white. I mean, they're not black. I'm not claiming them. I don't think nobody in the black community should claim them either. You a clown if you do.
exposed for being fraudsters.
And if you non-black trying to call them black, shut the fuck up and stop pushing people in our fucking community, especially white supremacists. Eat a dick. You claim him in whatever community y'all got. Put him over here with us. He is black. No, the fuck he's not. Shut up. Okay? y'all don't do that when you have a person who has a little bit of a white in them. Like, no. When they're white passing especially, and they got, hella white in them or hella this other race in them, but they got a sprinkle of black, we're not accepting them over here. So he's not black.
Scammers, people who don't actually live the life that they say they live, and with little to no male improvement tracked back to the teachings that they've had. But this is great. Like, one of the biggest supporters who has come out of this era is disavowing this whole movement in public. And the reason why he's clowning them is because his point is being proven by a protest that's supposed to support Andrew Tate. This is a quote by Miami Times reporter Natasha Yee. The smattering of millennial men gathered in the 90-degree heat appeared to span nearly every race and ethnicity, clutching homemade cardboard signs with messages like, "Thank you, Andrew Tate, for teaching us bravery." And the Tates are heroes to millions, though only about 30 of those millions appeared to make it downtown Miami on Thursday.
Andrew Tate is not, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't been proven guilty of anything. He's not been
And y'all all
convicted.
busted,
So I'm
not
here
surprised.
to defend a man who defends men all around the world.
Now, to be fair to Andrew Tate, he didn't tell the clowns to come out to support him. He did not tell the people to
But
come
he a
and
clown
do the
himself,
protest to
so
be
of course
a shit
you
show.
got other
All
clowns
he
to support
asked
him.
for was his fans
Hello.
and his supporters, his true supporters, the true people that believe in the top G, to come out and support him and do a protest. Now, ultimately, are his fans and supporters clowns? Maybe that's true. If you look at the clips or any sort of writing
What are
about
we
this
talking
protest,
about?
it's clear as day that more people that were involved were probably there for some sort of viral moment of it all.
The captain came down last night and he was looking in the eye like he wanted to hit me with a billy club. I said, are we okay? I said, man to man, you understand, I'm their attorney. I have a right to be here. Like, you understand that we're litigating for them, and you understand that we're going to shine a light into this prison. And you hear you?
Myron got to go back to Turkey and get the back of his head fixed because it's denim back here now too.
This year, that year, this, all fat gut hanging over his belt. They're all a bunch of fat asses in there with no life, and they're all broke and they hate us. And
Actually, he look like he might have a hairpiece. This looks like a toupee because you could kind of see the line of demarcation here. So yeah, I think he's wearing a
Just the way it is.
I don't even think that that's a real lawyer. I think that that's just some bodybuilder that they put inside of a suit and told him to wear sunglasses. What's funny to me is that like all of this contradicts a good bit of the teaching that Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been trying to display for the past couple of years. Them doing synchronized push-up protests and then putting in a tweet, this is what the Matrix fears, is some of the weakest shit I have ever heard. Mind you, these are the people that talk about the wokeness of the world and they criticize like all the BLM protests, all the marching that they did, but literally these guys look like doofuses outside doing this stuff. And then what's embarrassing about all of this is the numbers in and of it all. Now, mind you, I do think that Andrew Tate, the Red Pill movement, you know, Myron, Justin Wall, all these people associated with it do have a bunch of different supporters. But for whatever reason, anytime these guys try to galvanize any sorts of troops, it always has something questionable that goes along with how many people actually came there. One reporter that's pro-Tate quoted that there were thousands of people. The Miami Times and this other account quoted that there were dozens to maybe 30 people. And every video that I see, I'm not gonna lie, this is just based off of what I've seen, it's not a lot of people at all. It literally looks like less than like a high school lunch at any given time. And you know, depending on the high school that you go to, I might even be gassing it because that's a pretty big showing. Now, I don't know if it's because these top G disciples are so broke that they can't actually afford to get to Miami because they're so busy sending their money to Andrew and Tristan Tate to put on their books so they can pay for ramen noodle packets so they're not having to do push-ups and clean laundry while they're in jail. Or if it's because people aren't proud enough to show their faces to let the world know that they actually do support Andrew and Tristan Tate.
Y'all show that ugly mug.
Millions of people fan base that claim that they are proud and loud about supporting Andrew and Tristan Tate's movement aren't visible anytime anybody asks them to step up and show their face. Now, arguably the worst part about all of this is not the fact that there weren't too many people that showed up to a protest. It's the fact that Andrew Tate left his community, the top G community, the Red Pill guys, in the hands of some of the worst people on the internet.
And the truth of the innocence and the reasons why they should be released will be so overwhelming. And if we lose, then we will go straight to President Trump's office. And we will say to him, I understand we have a long and lasting relationship with the United Kingdom, but don't forget that that relationship started when we took their tea and threw it into the damn water. Don't forget that that relationship started when we launched a revolution against that stupid king and his stupid wig and that godforsaken country.
Is he a lawyer or a content creator? Like, why are you referencing the Boston Tea Party and the kings of the Revolutionary era back in the 1700s when you're talking about whether Tristan Tate and Andrew Tate are supposedly people who are doing these terrible things with women and children? Can you keep your eye on the prize here, buddy, and not try to get on AEW? It's not just the Fresh and Fit boys, Myron and Walter, and it's not just Justin Waller, who Andrew Tate has left to defend his name in the public and galvanize the truth. He has established a crackpot team of legal experts, one that only rivals O.J. Simpson, in an attempt to get him out of jail. I mean, these guys are as sharp as a tack, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think that I can stress how worried I am for the state of Florida, city of Miami, the federal government, and what they're going to have to put up with, because this legal team they're on it. I swear to you, they are on it.
Don't forget that that relationship started when we launched a revolution against that stupid king and his stupid wig and that godforsaken country.
Now, obviously, lawyers speak all the time. I don't think it's strange for them to be answering some of these questions. Have you obtained proof of life?
No, it's the way that he's speaking, what he's saying.
See how the headspace is doing, all that stuff. That's your job as a lawyer. But it looks like their lawyer is more concerned with becoming a main character. Mm-hmm. Look at how he's like intentionally going for these jokes because he wants Buddy in the free hug shirt to cheese it up and laugh.
And this, that, this, all fat gut hanging over his belt. They're all a bunch of fat asses in there with no life.
The way he's talking.
And they hate us, and that's just the way it is.
He's more worried about impressing these guys and playing the court of public opinion for ultimately losers who are going to ride for Andrew and Tristan no matter what, than doing things that, I don't know, would probably help them get out of jail, like painting them in some sort of good light publicly. But ultimately, you just look like one of the D-bags who is on their payroll and who acts just like them. You see recently in court when it comes to Chud the Builder, how these actions from your team outside of court can help play into how the judge accepts narratives and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's a great idea for these dudes to be going around gallivanting and having the greatest time with Myron and Walter from Fresh and Fit trying to get the laughs and chuckles from these idiots on the street as a way to get, these guys out of jail if that's their ultimate end goal. But I had to look into this lawyer a little bit deeper to figure out who he was, because he came off clout chasey, and you gotta trust your gut on some of these things. When he comes off clout chasey in these interviews, then you've gotta assume that in real life he's clout chasey as well. Andrew Tate's lawyer's name is Joseph McBride, somebody who has taken on some pretty notorious and infamous cases in recent time. He was the guy who supported and decided to take on the defense for Richardo, Big O, Barnett, whatever his name is, you know, the guy who was in Nancy Pelosi's office during the January 6th expedition coup on the Capitol building. Now, this guy Barnett, with the help of Joseph McBride, went to trial and was convicted on all 8 counts. But at the end of the day, Joseph McBride still got that look, right? And then there's Keith Rainier, founder of NXIVM, who also Joseph McBride decided that he was going to be a lawyer for. Now, Rainier has an interesting storyline, but McBride publicly questioned the FBI's work and argued that prosecutors had not proven every element of the crimes beyond a reasonable doubt. You're probably asking what Rainier was being put on trial for. He was ultimately a cult leader, somebody who was into some of the same things that their guy Andrew Tate is being put up on trial for. The trafficking, the exploitation, the children of it all. And Rainier ultimately got sentenced to 120 years. Now, I'm not trying to say that McBride is a bad lawyer at all. What I'm trying to say is the optics of it all. Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate decided to go get a lawyer who has been responsible for defending a guy on the January 6th trial and for this guy who is a cult leader. I mean, if you're walking like a duck and quacking like one, you might as well go get a duck farmer.
I did believe at the time that Andrew Tate was innocent, but as I looked into it more, probably guilty of a lot of these things.
So from the protesters to the vocal supporters like Myron and Walter, all the way up to Andrew Tate's lawyer, it looks like this is a clown show for the Tate brothers. And it's a great thing that it's now being called out by Sneako. For the past few years, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Myron, Walter, Justin Waller, and anybody else that is still associated with the Red Pill movement have been put to question over the validity of their takes and their thought processes and reasoning and advice, and to the validity of the Red Pill movement as a whole. People question if these people were actually getting any help, if there was any real brotherhood behind it all, and in a situation in which they could have proved that there was some sort of camaraderie and strength and numbers and power in what they were actually teaching. You actually get a 30 people shit show of a protest in support of a guy who...
No evidence in 4 years. If they didn't have no evidence, they wouldn't have got arrested. Y'all are so dumb. Jesus.
Who has a lawyer who is looking for the optics and look of it all in order...
No evidence. When I've seen evidence myself with my own eyeballs of them admitting, mainly Andrew Tate, admitting his crimes. What do you mean no evidence?
To make his name big, while Andrew and Tristan Tate are behind Miami bars. Tate obviously still has fans, but the movement is not what it was. And I think what makes it worse is that the person who ushered in this movement to a young and unexpected audience is left, has excommunicated from it, is disavowing it. I don't think people realize how much of a role Sneako has actually played in bringing these losers to a young audience. And again, I don't, forgive him or forget about all of that, but it is a great deal that he is actually addressing these things now and saying the loud part out loud. The Red Pill is dead. It's over. They're not amusing anymore. You see commentary channels stop making videos about them, and every single time they are being displayed is more so from the POV of people clowning them.
Absolutely. The days are over when, what's his name? Kevin Samuels was popular and Red Pill was at an all-time high and people were acting like they were, spitting knowledge and oh my God, they telling the truth and that's why y'all mad. Those days are gone. People now recognize that these people are idiots, okay? And that they're horrible and they've done horrible things. So I'm glad that some people are waking up. The people who are out there protesting, there's no help for them, okay? they're going to be losers until the day they die. So good luck to them. But yeah, this is a mess. Y'all let me know what y'all think though, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!